Hello world, it's ay-musik. Hello world, it's ay-musik, and you can roll with it or refuse it. I say hey, way to the world, this is my day. Something like BK, have it my way. This is my time, I'ma shine so much.
Hey. This is the Global Goals Music Roadshow. He is AY Young.
And he is Timo Peach.
That's right. And welcome to the show, everybody. The Global Goals Music Roadshow.
Is bringing alive the creative future with the SDGs.
Yes, with him.
AY Young. Timo Peach.
Timo Peach. And today's special guest host, which I think we'll announce in a minute. So we're looking forward to getting into it with you, everyone, aren't we, AY?
Yeah, we are. Yeah. Welcoming them. What do you think they brought us today, bro?
I don't know. Should we find out who they are?
Yes, we should.
And bring our two. We've got two special guests today, and we'll find out who they are, where they are, and what they are doing about sustainability and the global goals. So without further ado, let me introduce Nickoli and Natty B. Welcome to the GG Music Roadshow, guys. How are you?
Good, doing good today. Enjoying this West Coast.
And
Funky
where
Friday.
are you in the world? Funky Friday, yes.
Yeah, I am in Las Vegas. Beautiful Las Vegas.
Yep, same.
Very
Las
cool.
Vegas,
And Natty B, you said it was a pretty balmy 39 degrees last night where you are.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely can make your toes go numb if you're not used to that. 39 degrees in the desert, not typical. So, yeah.
Holy crap. That's freezing.
Yeah. Whereas here in the UK, I'm
not
obviously
warm.
in the UK. It's not warm there. You should try being here. I'm on the south coast of the UK. It's pretty chilly outside my shed. So, guys, we're looking forward to meeting you properly in a minute. AY and I are going to go back to the script and pretend we're professionals just for a little introduction. Aren't we, AY? Because we're troopers.
We're totally like pros at this. We do it all the time. I'll let you lead. Let's go. Let's hit it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, so, okay. So if I'm leading this, then this says I'm AY in the US and he's Timo in the UK.
Okay, yes, totally. So I'm AY in the US. This is Timo, and we're both musicians and creatives. We're passionate about making change that actually, make change that actually happen around the world. And so we think one of the best frameworks for like helping make this happen is to think about the challenges of the time that we're in right now. This is a crazy time, whoever's listening, right? To achieve these United Nations Sustainable Development Goals.
That's right. We think the goals are a brilliant plan, but it's a lot to get your head around as ordinary people like us trying to get on with our lives, which is why we think that music and art have a massive role to play in bringing them alive.
Yeah. And this is why we're taking these goals all around the world to meet special guests, hosts, people, outlets for change, just like you, so we can make an impact on the planet, right where, you live, right there in Vegas.
Yes. And as part of AY's ambitions to be generally amazing, he's developing an LP celebrating the SDGs musically. And the people getting involved with this potentially are really exciting. We'll come to that more later.
Yeah, man, that's right, Timo. And in the future episode of the Global Go Show, I'll be exclusively sharing like live previews of those songs. It's gonna be sick. Heck yeah! I mean, currently Timo is like making some in the studio. Look at his background. Jesus Christ, this guy's great. Yeah, but this is gonna be a great party, right, man?
This is going to be a great party. So let's get into meeting our guests. Nickoli, I'm going to come to you first, actually, and say. Number one, what's your name and where you come from? Where you're
dashing young lad. He looks dashing.
He does look dashing tonight. He's spruced up since earlier. He's got a curtain behind him and everything.
Yes.
Very nice.
Lush. That is lush. So, Nickoli, what brings you to the Global Goals Music Roadshow? Why are you interested in the SDGs?
So my name's Nickoli. I grew up most of my time in Kansas City, which is where Aaron is from, AY Young is from, ay-musik. So we actually grew up together, and we both kind of had from a young age a drive to like change the world. We didn't know what it would look like. Obviously, then we had ideas, like huge visions and dreams that we thought we would just blow up the world. But as we've progressed through life, we've kind of seen those dreams come to fruition. And so I've just kind of kept in touch with him, and then it's been cool to see him grow and stick to his passion. Like, I mean, he's been talking about his passion with battery tournament since we met. So it's like nothing new under the sun for me. It's been 10, 12, 13 years. And same for me. Like, I've been driven to, change the world and build communities for myself at the same time. So it's just been a great time to work with him, and then see where we're at now. Like, as kids, you're like, oh, we're going to change the world. It's going to be amazing. And then you get to a point where like, oh, I can kind of have an impact on the world. This is insane. And so now we're dealing with the reality of that.
And I definitely want to chat to you offline later in a separate chat room to hear lots of things about AY. Just to get up to speed.
Yeah, how it got started,
No, what's crazy? People don't know. We were Boy Scouts together. And by the way, shout out to Julia. Go AY. I see you. What's up, girl? Miss Fogel, the Fogel family, our outlet teachers around the world. We're rolling out the global goals to schools around the world. But really quick, if you guys are paying attention, yes. So Nick, we were Boy Scouts together. We were learning about the world together.
That is a beautiful thing, and I want to see pictures.
I want to see that photo.
Definitely. So Natty B, how did you join this party? How did you get involved with these guys?
I'm also from the Midwest. I'm a Missouri girl as well. So I got to meet Nick back in high school, and Nick linked me with AY because music is the one thing that AY and I really have in common on a major level. I'm so passionate about it. I feel like music is a communication that is so magical that it can transcend every barrier in the world. I feel like music can say anything that you can't just say to somebody's face.
I'm just going to instantly raise a toast to that. Well done.
Yeah. And what's funny? The first single I ever wrote was called Cheers. So cheers to that.
Well, that's bang on brand. Good work, everyone.
Adorable, honey. You're so adorable. Yes, dude, Natty can totally. Let me tell you a Natty story real quick, because I do know her personally too. Like, we were in Cali not too long ago, and I be making music. Everybody knows making music, and I think we were just like throwing out an idea randomly, and then she started singing it. And it was just the most beautiful angel voice thing, and like threw her on the record. And like, this might be maybe part of the global goals. So she's that talented to be able to roll with something and use music as that vehicle, right? Which we're all about here, right, Timo? For sure.
Yes, absolutely right. Yes, definitely music all the way. Who was that?
I love that.
Hidden Rhodes piano.
I love that.
Nickoli, I want to know about next about your project and what you have in mind and what brought you to the SDGs.
All right, where do I even begin? So before I got brought on to the SDGs, which I love that the UN is pushing such like amazing goals, right? The 17 global goals, is ever since I was a kid, I was enamored by building environments, developing environments around myself to develop my own character and stuff like that. I knew if I developed my environment, it would in turn develop me. So I spent a lot of time studying environments. Even I went to school for architecture for a while and never used it, which is classic. Go to school and don't use it. But so I got into building environments and thinking about that stuff and resource-based economy. So my mission now is to create a kind of like a micro city or micro campus that's going to empower people like entrepreneurs to chase their passions and simultaneously work towards the global goals. So Las Vegas has kind of been my place of choice for a lot of reasons, which we can dive into later. But yeah, I just want to build a really cool entrepreneurs campus in Las Vegas where people can come together and focus on unique goals together and just have a really cool place to work and make it fun. Because like changing the world should be fun. It really should, right? We should have a good time doing it. So I want to build an environment that really does that for people. So yeah, Micro campuses, micro cities. I think it's where the future's going.
I don't know. I mean, AY, what do you think about
In
having
Vegas,
fun?
baby.
What having fun while changing the world and in Vegas? I mean, does that make any sense to you, AY?
I mean, I think we should enjoy what we're doing in general. Like and life is about, I don't think life is about doing things you don't love. And so I'm all about your passion. And, so I talk about that with the battery tour, and I can even bring us more into the next question for Natty as well. As like, I'm a huge, I talk about how the battery tour is an outlet for you to plug in and connect to your passion. And that's how we should be living our lives, right? So if you don't mind, can I move to ask them what is this? Can we hit that line? So speaking of passion, guys, that is what's powering the tour. So tell me, maybe starting with you, Natty, like what goal are you most plugged into? I'd love to know what goal of the global goals are you most plugged into?
Yes, I was telling Momo earlier, I have a great relationship with plants and Mother Nature, and I find that there is a great way to create sustainability in our lives by feeding ourselves the proper nutrition and respecting the planet in that same retrospect. So as far as that goes, I think this goes more into like respecting Mother Nature and feeding less hunger, no poverty. It's right in line with that. But I think we all also need to educate ourselves every day on a new way to improve how we're consuming. And that could be in anything. That could be in what we buy for clothing. That could be how we go to the grocery store and we shop for peanut butter. It just needs to be a daily practice to try to become a more sustainable citizen, I guess, on this lovely planet that we got gifted to live on. So, and also you could try new things all the time. I mean, I hope I am learning new food at the age of 75. I mean, there's so much out there that we don't have to pigeonhole ourselves. And this is a great place to be. I mean, it makes it fun. So gardening is my number one. I think everyone needs to have one, even if it's one basil plant.
Nice. And for anyone who's listening, paying attention, please chime in on what you know about the goals, what your favorite goal is. Gardening, I think, would fall under like life on land, or maybe what do you think, Timo? One of the 15. I can't think of one where it might fall completely under, but goal.
Yeah. Yes, it's fun. It's food and. See, here we are branding ourselves as a global goals thing, and now you've instantly tested me. I'm supposed to have these.
This is perfect. If anyone's listening, the 17 global goals, you can't read it with this slide yet. You can just see the color scheme. There's no poverty. There's zero hunger, good health and well-being. Goal 3, goal 4 is quality education. Gender equality is a goal. Goal 5, there's decent work and economic growth. Climate action. There's all these wonderful things, life on land, life below water. So part of what the Battery Tour is doing through music, guys, we are doing a 3-phase approach that we're rolling out to achieve the global goals of the world and to empower people like Nick and Natty as outlets for change. So Nick, do you know what the global goals are? If you don't, that's cool. That's what this show's about. If you're listening, you don't know what the global goals are, that's cool. We're here to get you plugged in. What's a goal that you identify with? Nick, what's up, bro?
All right, this one is a cakewalk for me. So it's definitely goal 11, which is sustainable cities and communities. Because my passion, I actually was on a talk last night about this. My passion has always been people, and not just like, I love talking to people, but it's really understanding people. And with that understanding, building systems and stuff like that to empower those people. So like I'm an INTJ, which is a Myers-Briggs test. So like I'm an introvert, but I love to build systems around for myself so that I can empower myself. So I love to do the same things for other people. And so the best way I see that happening is in a micro community. You can build a community to empower people, their gifts and their strengths, and balance each other out. So like I was so happy when I saw the UN had a goal like this that was specific for this, because the cool thing about goal 11 is you can build a city that supports all the other goals. You can build a city that supports no poverty. You can build a city that is sustainable. So like, while we can't practice on a grand scale, what we need to do in the future, what I consider, this campus is a way to build a city for the future. We can practice things in this city, like, all right, we're going to be really sustainable here. There's going to be zero energy like used here in terms of like extra energy. We're not going to use carbon carbon fuels or anything like that. So like we can use micro cities to practice for the future, because unfortunately the world runs on different schematics right now. Like we hear the common sex, money, and power stuff, which that's cool and it's worked in the Rockefeller times, but now we basically need to work towards building cities that work on abundance and collaboration and sustainability and stuff that's going to empower nature and stuff like that. So I just think for me, like goal 11 is like 100% the way that I love to do it. I can't wait to work on that project.
So I'm
Now,
gonna
go on.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think the two of you together are making an interesting connection there. Certainly the things that get me excited, because I think you represent sort of two ends of it. You know, the story of humans starting in a garden, ending in a city. Cities are where everything piles up and you can't hide anything, and you've got the most chance of finding innovation, but you can't hide away in your nice own garden. A friend of mine who's a sustainability expert, Gwyn Jones, the first thing he does with people that he takes on retreats to do with sustainability, like stressed business people, the first thing he does is make them simply put their fingers in the soil and sit there like under trees and just put your skin in the soil. That is where this starts and ends, but it's not purely about just doing that. It's you know, having dirt on your vegetables is one thing, but actually being able to be smart and data driven and feed us in the urban environment. I did the reason partly why I'm here is because I, from a music project, bounced into looking at the global goals I'd not heard of about 3 years ago, turned it into a research cast called Unsee the Future. And
that was such a good conversation. I was trying to figure out how to get there. I was like, we gotta go. Okay. Look at that.
And it is
back on the screen. Look at that.
It's
guy.
Yeah,
that's great. That's a great outfit right there.
Yeah, it's certainly not one for doing gardening.
Yeah,
and that's for sure.
all white.
But I found actually what really energized me was when I got to, I mean, the whole thing did, and it gave me lots of things I'll talk about another time. But when I got to the cities one, the reason I fumbled over not knowing the exact names of the goals is because I kind of broke it down into single word themes. And some of those themes had a couple of goals under them. But the cities theme, I actually did a 2-part episode on it because it was just so interesting to see how everything fits together. So, and you're thinking, Nickoli, that the working space is going to be like this little microcosm of community and progressive thinking.
Yeah, I mean, if you can look at Google Campus is a great example, is they've built this place where like you never want to leave Google Campus because it's so amazing and it drives innovation among their employees. Like it's beautiful. But my philosophy is like once it gets too big, people get anonymous, and that's when we start doing things that are shady. So we keep it small. We keep it local. We keep it in the community because everyone knows everybody. And like for me, I love that you said we connected the Natalie dots to the gardens because like, for instance, I go to the jungle every year for 30 days and go off the grid because I think a big key of sustainability is like remembering where we came from, like going and running around in the jungle and learn, like having to grow a potato that takes a whole year. You respect French fries on a whole different level when you have to grow your own food for a while because you're like, oh, I can't just go to the store and get this. Or when you have to like go like get clean water every day out there, or you got to take cold showers, you come back with an appreciation for life. And like in the micro communities, I think we need to have that balance of reminding people where our stuff comes from. And then sustainability will be easier because people won't be consuming too much because of like, oh, people worked super hard for this. So I think I love that point of like sustainability is just a reminder of like where we come from and just keeping that reminder going.
That was a great quote. And you've made it to the chat thread
a
as
lot
a
of
quote.
distractions out there.
A lot of distractions. Yes, Natty B, I totally agree. If I don't know whether Mikey and Emma Draper are watching, but they are mates of mine. Mikey D is like a mate of mine who goes back as long as you two do. And he knows all the secrets. But he and Emma actually started an allotment years ago. And what they've learned about natural systems just down the road from here, getting out in all weathers, tending stuff, they have such yield from what they do. But it is hard work. They are the people we're going to bunker up with if it all really does go wrong. So, and they know that. So Mikey and Emma, thanks. But yeah, and watching them do it and being down on the allotment with them, just getting the dirt under the fingernails and that, straight to plate from their own soil is remarkable work, and the stuff they've learned. So yeah, I think I can see you two working together.
It tastes so good.
And it tastes so good. You're right, Natty B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk. I mean, Natalie, I actually invited Natalie down to Belize this year. And the funniest thing that I remember we found out is like at home, I could eat like 4 bananas and like I might get kind of sick to my stomach. In Belize, because we have hundreds of banana trees, we would eat bananas all day and like
Really?
be totally fine. Oh my gosh, like 20 bananas a day. And you forget because we're so used to food that's been processed that it's way different. Like it's so much different when it's fresh. Like your body likes it more. You can eat a lot of it, it seems like. So like we forget how awesome it is to be cleaner food and stuff like that and to grow your own food.
And let's harp on that just a little bit more, and we'll move to the next segment in a second. Like, what are you guys' thoughts in general? It's kind of interesting. You look at the world, it's like we're returning to the past almost, right? Like now it's like instead of processed, it's like, well, what about out the ground? I actually grow. I have my own garden here, urban farm in Kansas City. Like, what do you guys think about this radical shift of, I almost call it realism, and eating from the ground up, and how's that make you look at the new way of doing business even too as well? Elaborate.
Yeah.
You go first.
Yeah,
Nat.
well, for me, I can say, I could relate a lot to this, because the more I learn about gardening, the more I feed myself from my own garden, the more I try to learn new foods, try to stay with the season of where I'm at, the more I almost have a better relationship with people around me. I have a better relationship with myself. I have more respect and more sustained knowledge than the fleeting upgrades that we always get in the digital world. Everything's changing all the time. Nature doesn't really change all that much. There's kind of some rules to it, and you learn that we as human are exactly the same way. We need to be nurtured, spoken to, touched, watered from time to time. We all have different needs. Everybody, especially environmental needs. So if you're in one place or another, you have different attention that needs to be spent. So I recognize that, and that's something that's very interesting with Nick's environment that he's trying to create, because it also does show that every environment changes everything. Like all of your guys' lovely backgrounds, it's showing all of our environments, right?
Yeah, definitely. And like the power of food and gardening is so impressive. So like I don't want to dog on technology. Like technology will give us the ability to be more sustainable easier if we're smart with it. And what I like about, focusing on food and other stuff in community is it's the power of presence. Like technology can distract us. And when you're gardening and growing your own stuff, you're present in the moment because you have to be. And we've kind of forgotten how powerful presence is with each other and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's going to bring us back to center, right? It's going to teach us how to be humans again. But technology will be there to support us, right?
Mike, shout out to Mike. Yeah, technology. Shout out to Mike. He's eating homegrown veggie lasagna, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Miss Peach is here. SDG 12 for Natty B. Hello, girl. Responsible consumption.
Nice. There you go.
So let's keep it rolling. You guys, whoever's tuned in, you're at the Battery Tour Global Goals Show. My man, Timo.
Yes. My man. We were going to do practice this slap thing, weren't we? Like that. Yes. It's going to take practice.
Yes,
well,
go ahead.
That's ridiculous. I was going to say, what was I going to say? It then completely went out of my head. I was going to say absolutely nothing. No, AY, is it time that we shared a little bit about what the battery plan even is?
You are the transition. I'm like trying to do the transition, but like Timo is so far ahead. He's like, yeah, this is what we're doing. This guy is a kid. Yeah. Bell, like, okay. Anyway, yo, guys. So you're probably like, well, why the heck am I even here? I'm talking about myself, or what's the Battery Tour Global Goals Plan? Well, I got you. It's a 3-step plan to achieve the SDGs of the world. Want to know what it is, Nick? Even though you kind of already know, because you're my.
I'm ready for the new pitch. What do we got?
Timo, here we go. 1.
Yeah. one of us should there it is. There it is.
Okay, guys, this is what we're doing to achieve the global goals of the world in 3 steps, 3 phases. We are in phase 1. We're going to do an album, 17 songs, 1 song for each goal. And then we're going to do a tour, 17 dates in America first, because I am the young leader, the only young leader from the United States of America. I'm one of 17 young leaders elected by the United Nations. And then the third step is a guidebook and a roadmap to be like, hey, this is how you tour sustainably. This is how you do a sustainable album. We'll release that with the United Nations to the world. That is the Battery Tour Global Goals project, and we are in phase 1, getting the world plugged in, making and finding and inspiring outlets like you guys to plug in, to share the story, the vision, to get plugged in too. Like, it's really awesome because the world doesn't know this, but I'll be working with Nick to develop this campus for the world. So I'm looking so forward to doing that. And Natty, if you plug in the goal number 12, then there's space there for you to plug in and bring your passion, your skill set, what you do, whether it's musically, whether it's through just what you do, right? So we're really here to get people plugged in to achieve the goals together.
And it's interesting that you're here too, Nancy, because
I am.
Yeah, well, you are. You've just been signed up. I'm not sure you can get out of it. I think, can you get out of it? I think this is binding, isn't it? It's on live streams binding, I think. But Natty, I think it's interesting you're here because you straddle digital and events in the arts, don't you? And so you've had an interesting kind of year managing to keep busy because of web work and digital stuff. But you miss those live events, don't you? And how they bring things alive.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying I've been over 100 music festivals in the last 5 or 6 years. It's been a development in my mind where I just love engagement. I love seeing people be excited, and different levels of creation go into these events, all the way from where the food trucks sit to the lights on the stage. And all of that work is something that I just would absolutely envelop myself in, and I love so much. I love seeing the movement and people change in those weekends too, and how they take in the environment and how the environment can create such a different journey for yourself. So I've been to ones Golden Gate, or the San Francisco, right there in the park. I've been to festivals underground in bunkers, all kinds of different things. And just to see the different way that we all change and grow, it's pretty beautiful, because I can't say I've ever been to an event, even out of the 100, that I haven't come out of it and been a different person, just from all the engagement and all the encouragement from around in the environment. So
what's funny about music festivals is all they are pop-up micro communities, right? I mean, that's what they are. It's a pop-up people coming together and impacting each other, which is what we're trying to build. So like Natalie's been basically doing global goal 11 for 5 years, didn't even realize it. Just bring together people in micro communities.
I mean, camping in your car, cooking food for your campmates, creating a little festival weekend. You find a festival mom. I mean, this is true. I have lifelong friends that I've met just because they park next to me.
Tell me a story. Really quick. Tell me a quick story of like a family or something cool that happened at a music festival. And if anybody has any stories out there from music festivals, comment below.
Yes. So everyone's heard of Coachella, right? And you picture Coachella being a bunch of scantily clad Instagram influencers running around, right? So I pull up to my very first Coachella camping, and I was so excited. It was like stars in my eyes. I was so happy. I had my roommates with me. I'd packed my car for almost 3 months straight. I think I was just over preparing because I was so excited. We ended up pulling next to somebody who was by herself. Her name was Sandy. She was 65 years old, and she's a UPS delivery person. And she's like, I love festivals. I've been going to festivals since the 70s. She was so excited. And she didn't bring anything. And we're in the middle of the desert in Coachella. Indio gets like 100, 112 in the afternoon. She literally didn't bring anything. She's like, you can use my camping spot. So we're like, all right, Sandy's our festival mom. We're sticking with her all weekend. And it was the best choice I ever made. And I still talk to her on a weekly basis on Instagram. So it's so cool kind of people you can meet.
So it is. What do we think about the idea of trying to create this sort of creative experience, pop-up communities. Beautiful phrase, Nickoli. What do we think about trying to do this? How we might do this? Huge question, but for sustainability, for planet issues, for trying to put this stuff together in a creative way.
What's cool is technology is coming to back us up. So I have a friend in Las Vegas. He started the company Boxable, and he basically has these homes that come on a truck in the size of a container, and they expand to a fully functioning house with every plumbing in an hour. And so we're getting to the point where we can actually like drop buildings ready to go. So if there's a camp or people that need help, we have to respond to something, we can throw pop-up communities and then pack them up like an hour later. Like it's getting to the point where we're able to like really do this in a really interesting and sustainable way and like support people, because the infrastructure is super important, right? And so we can build that infrastructure, like we can accomplish anything. And like we don't have to build permanent buildings everywhere. Like why do we need to do that? We don't. We can build temporary stuff and help people, and then when the wave is moved on, we go to the next community.
Do you think it will give us a whole new take on what we even need on the other side of COVID? Because we're all desperate to be dancing with each other again, aren't we?
Yeah.
I mean, in Las Vegas, we had this talk yesterday. It's like Las Vegas is entertainment hospitality. It's completely shifted the way that Las Vegas works because, you know, it's gonna be a different place now because of what happened in COVID. Like everyone's working from home. You don't want to go back to work sometimes. Like you're like, why? I can work from home just as effectively. So even that's shifting how people are working, and like health and wellness is really blown up this year because holistic medicine is growing because there's a lot of distrust right now and like traditional medicine. So we see there's 2020 was an opportunity for change, and there's been a big shift in the world. And now like even on like other platforms like Clubhouse, I'm seeing a different mindset overtaking, one of positivity, more so than I've ever seen in my life before. Like I'm seeing a massive push for people like myself and you guys, where like abundance and collaboration is working and people are responding to it. And they want to be sustainable and they want to change their life. So I'm like, I'm so ready. I don't know what it's going to look like, but it's going to be different. And it's going to be really good.
It's because it's inspiring, isn't it? It's the possibilities that get me exciting. This is a chance to do everything better. Yeah. Just when it's at its worst.
Yeah.
It's that chance.
Could you imagine having a cheaper ticket to Coachella because you want to go cook meals for your campsite? I mean, what if we had credits where it would give us availability to experience things if we put our energy into it?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, my high school used to do that for concession stands. We would work concession stands to get free tickets to prom. So same concept, just put something in that is selfless and then you get paid back.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting point to think about, because I think when I think about ay-music's tour, people think sustainable. They think, we're going to use batteries for the tour, we're going to use power, but also it's like sustainable is how we interact with people. Like if we're more in the moment, that's more sustainable. If we don't just show up just to be there, like it's a different mindset. So I think that sustainability is going to come in the way that we interact with each other too on this global roadshow, right? You don't want 10,000 people not interacting. I'd rather have 1,000 people that are fully plugged in than 10,000 that aren't, right? And I hope that's a shift that happens in festivals and road shows and like that, because presence is amazing. When people are present, you don't need as many, right? You don't need a bunch of people following you. You just need a couple, and then you're having a great, impactful, life-altering time.
Yes, right? And the right small group of people, really committed. A surprisingly small number of people can change the world. It's not empty guff. Yeah. It's statistics. Actually, if you've got, it only takes a small lever, and there's loads of us feeling this way right now.
Totally. Yeah. Well, Timo, it's crazy. Caroline Peach, she just said people are ready for a change, and then she talks make the new ways desirable and attractive. And I've always been on this mission. I say making the battery cool again. But it's funny, I made a record called Ready for a Change, and it's going to be on the Global Goals Project. And that takes me back to remembering, it's funny, the next segment is 800 showbiz stories, right? And so, because, there's this whole thing of I've powered over, 800 concerts, using just renewable energy when it wasn't that cool. I mean, back in 2012, like, 2012. I say this all the time. Like in 2016, all the girls started like on Instagram with yoga poses. Do you remember that? And it started to be cool, like eating organic.
To be cool. The nerds were
Right,
beginning
bro.
cool.
It was really cool. It was not cool in like 20. I don't remember seeing a bunch of girls posting yoga pics and eating everything organic and da 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 in 2012.
No. And look, and on that note, everyone.
Oh!
It is. Oh, hang on. On that note, I'm in the wrong. That was slick. That was slick, Peach.
That's slick.
It's the 10-minute wrap-up klaxon, in which AY is going to attempt some live performance before we go. And this is in time. AY is going to be sharing previews of the new songs from the Global Goals album. It'll be a 17-track LP. Every track will be representing a different goal, bringing it to life, bringing some humanity, his experiences. Yes, this is a man who's done 800 shows around the world and every square inch of the US. Just the chops musically to do all the stuff you've done, AY. Never mind the relentless enthusiasm for this.
Timo's amazing though too. Don't short sell yourself. This man hit the keys, Timo. Boom.
Okay, let's have a cheesy keys. A kind of Vegas bar at the end of the night.
Yeah.
I don't know what key. I don't know what key you're about to sing in.
That was good. Keep it going. Let's keep it going.
We can't. Zoom won't let us do this.
It sounds really live.
Good job.
AY, before this descends into total chaos and you bounce, what are you going to sing for us today?
This one. Wait, did you hear it?
It had to be.
Did you guys hear it?
Yes. I was just getting into it.
Right.
They acting like we from another planet, Mars. They say climate change ain't a thing. What you talking about? What you know about that? What's your carbon offset? Hey, we just wanna act. We ain't sitting back. Solar power. Wind and solar power. Everybody need the energy. Let's store it up in power. The world recycle. We need more recycle, but you're acting like some followers on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah. Tick tock, let the ball drop. Clock starts now, plug in, we can stay planet. So tick tock, let the ball drop. Clock starts now. We're here today with my man Spencer with us. Daddy's alone, anybody watching around the world, we can save the planet. My name is Dave Boy. The battery for Timo Peach. We gon' save the planet, everybody looking at it like from another planet. Save the planet. We gon' save the planet, everybody looking at it like a from another planet. Save the planet, we gon' save the planet, everybody looking at it like a from another planet. We gon' music, Roadshow, got Timo Peach. We got outlets all around the world, plugged in what we're doing. Come on, what's your guy? We gon' say that. Don't forget about the ocean. Hey, the ocean is alive. Keep the plastic out. 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 Save the planet. We gon' save the planet. Everybody looking at me like from another planet.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Heck yes. Thank
Beautiful,
you.
man, as ever. I love that tune. And on the mix, when the kids join in at the end, not a dry eye in the shed.
Totally.
And who else sings about saving the planet? It's remarkable that there's one guy here who does with passion, and we need to build you into a chorus.
I love it, guys. You guys rock.
Yes, well,
that was
that
awesome. Thank you. Good energy.
So, Chris,
Hey, did you want to share? Go on. But what were you going to say?
I was going to say, this brings us to call to action. Call to action. Call to action. What's that? What do we do?
What do we do?
I don't know.
Register to be part of the battery tour. Go to ayyoung.com and be part of this. You can, dear viewer, you can jump onto this lunacy if you want to. If you're part of sustainability and you'd like to be part of the exclusive crowd joining in this each week, which we're doing for the rest of the year, you can apply, register, follow AY, and we will follow you up. And we'd love to hear, wherever you are in the world, we want to hear what you're up to, how you're touching with the global goals, and how they're affecting you in your ordinary life locally.
And yo, guys, whoever's listening, and Nickoli, man, my dude Spence, Natty, power the tour. We're here to inspire you guys to be an outlet for change. I say this every time, every day. Everyone is an outlet for change. And plugged into each other, local community, nationally, as a world, we as citizens, as humans, we can do anything. And so with the battery tool, we're powered by the people. We're for the people. We're with you guys. And in order to achieve this crazy, ridiculous 3-phase plan that's going to require some of the biggest names and brightest people in the world to individuals like you, we need you to plug in. Connect us, man. Connect us to someone you know who doesn't know about the goals. Come hop on the show yourself. Come be a co-host. Share. That's how you can be an outlet for change. Maybe you don't donate. Maybe you don't buy a battery to a shirt, but you can share this movement and vision and get someone plugged in. Maybe there's a company or a sustainable solution that needs to be deployed or seen by the world. The battery tour is your platform. Let's get it. Okay, that was my
That's great. That's beautifully on brand. Yes, and guys, how can people get hold of you two, Nickoli? How can people find out more about your project?
You can actually reach out directly to me on Instagram. It's just at Nickoli Spence, my name, or Clubhouse, same name. Pretty much all my handles are at Nickoli Spence. Twitter, Instagram, Clubhouse. Reach out. I love to talk to people, love to know what to put in the community, what ideas you have, anything like that. I mean, I am just the person putting the puzzle pieces together. You guys are the puzzle pieces, right? So I'm just here to put stuff together.
Beautiful. You've shared some gorgeous stuff tonight. Thanks, mate. Even just that snapshot. And I know I want to be in your incubator, chatting all day for 24 hours. We'll have our own Coachella. I'm going to come out for the first time, and we're going to do it in your space. And Natty, how can people find you and your work?
Yes, my handle, if you guys want to find me on any social platform, is NattyB37, and that's a double E, like the B. And if you guys want to look up my website, it is thenattyb.com, and that's NATTYBEE. And it's been so wonderful being here. I would love to connect and educate each other on how to be more sustainable all the time. So anytime we can have this kind of conversation, let's make it happen.
Wonderful, thank you. And we'll stick those links in the downstairs. I was going to say the downstairs at YouTube. Guys,
it's been freaking cracking, but I gotta roll right now. Literally, man, we're getting this thing going. I didn't get a chance to tell you really cool Billie Eilish's manager. I've been talking to her to get her on the project. Timo, you got to get this one going, man. Tell him, please.